Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Um, a lot of people, so I'm hearing, are really fancying Francis Ngannou's chances against Anthony Joshua. And it sort of begs the question, are we perhaps overrating him a little bit in light of that fantastic effort he gave against Tyson Fury? Now, I've got nothing but respect for Ngannou, and I've read about his backstory. I think it's fantastic. He was paid certainly nowhere near his worth by the UFC. And as I said before, I don't have a high opinion on Dana White at all, or that UFC model. And he's finally making some decent money, and good luck to the guy. And yes, his performance against Fury, as I said before, is certainly the best debutant performance that I can think of against, that quality of opposition. I mean, heavyweight champion. But having said that, perhaps people are overreacting a little bit when it comes to just presuming that he's going to be able to do that well against everyone else. Look, there's no doubt, in my opinion, that Fury, I'm not saying anything you probably don't already know or think, Fury didn't take him seriously. He can go on and on all he likes about having a 12-week camp and the fact that he was, I trained for it, I didn't take him lightly. Yeah, you did take him lightly, mate. You didn't look in shape physically. Your mind didn't look like it was on the job. I got the impression he just thought, I'm going to turn up, I'm going to toy with this guy. And most of us thought that. I thought he would. But I didn't think he'd just, do it on the fly. I thought there'd be some rhyme or reason. It didn't look to me like he had any respect for Ngannou's power, for his physical strength. He thought he could just walk in there, slap him around willy-nilly and job done. But of course, if you're talking about a guy, even Ngannou, who, even though I think he has some boxing training. Someone told me, a few people have mentioned this actually, that he did have boxing training very early on when he first moved to France. But even so, I mean, he was, he's a big lump anyway. He's an excellent combat sportsman, albeit in a different discipline. You've got to respect those strengths, and Fury didn't. Now, more fool Fury. Now, by the way, I'm someone who thinks Fury won that fight. I know a lot of you disagree. And a couple of people have said to me, Fury jabbed and moved, but Ngannou had the heavier hands. Yeah, but he wasn't throwing them nearly enough for me. Definitely not. I thought Fury won that fight. And that's, again, I admired Ngannou. I thought his effort was excellent, but I did think Fury won more of the rounds, quite simply. I think I gave Ngannou like 2 or 3 rounds. Obviously, the 10-8 for the knockdown. But look, let's not make any mistake about it. When it comes to Anthony Joshua, Joshua is someone who is a good professional, a consummate professional, you could say. He never comes in underprepared. I think with the first Andy Ruiz fight, there's a lot to the rumours that he had been concussed in sparring, or he came in not 100%. More fool him, if you're going to come in with an injury. And a lot of fighters do come in with injuries, physical injuries, or if you've been concussed in sparring or whatever the case is. Once you get in that ring and the opening bell goes, that's not your opponent's fault. That's your fault. You've said I'm going to fight, so you've got to own that. So I don't blame Ruiz for that. But generally speaking, Joshua will come in prepared, physically, mentally. His tactics may not be right, because sometimes our tactics are not. The tactics don't fly with what you plan. The other guy doesn't let you implement those tactics. But generally speaking, Joshua is, he's physically prepared, and he won't come in with his, gut hanging over his belt, So I think this is very much Joshua's fight to lose. I think Joshua, if he comes in with the right tactics, and if he's got Ben Davison in his corner, it looks like it's going to be Ben Davison from now on rather than Derek James. I think this is definitely his fight to lose. He can just, hide behind the jab, grind Ngannou down, make him lose a lot of his energy, bust him up a little bit, jab to the body, jab to the head, just jab, the occasional right hand just to give him a taste of the power. And then as Ngannou's energy level lowers, Joshua can start to turn the screws, get a little bit more cavalier, and probably stop Ngannou. As big a unit as he is, he might get stopped on his feet, he might get pulled out by his corner, or at the very least, Joshua wins, a landslide points win. And Ngannou gets another moral victory, which would make him 0-2. Probably knowing the WBC, they'll put him up the top 10 rankings, not down it. But anyway, that's WBC for you. But I don't think it goes that just because Ngannou did so well against Fury, we're going to see an equally impressive, revelatory performance, because that's what it looked to me. I can't believe what I was watching when I saw that fight. And I think we were sort of lulled. Certainly, I was lulled into a sense of false confidence, even looking at Fury before the opening bell, because Fury sometimes just doesn't come in looking in shape. He's never had that body beautiful, but it soon became apparent that he just wasn't. He hadn't done what he should do. He just didn't. Well, I don't need to repeat it, do I? You know what I'm getting at. I don't see that happening with Joshua. I see Joshua, especially with Ben Davison, having good tactics, going in there, softening him up, and probably stopping him. Although this wasn't meant to be a prediction video, that's just the way it goes. The purpose of this video is, and the question that I have for you all is, do you think we're overrating Ngannou now? Because a lot of you have left comments saying that Ngannou's going to win. And I don't get it. If you are one of those people, explain to me how you think Ngannou would win. And I don't mean someone says, well, Joshua's got a China chin. No, he hasn't. He hasn't got the greatest chin in the world, neither did Lennox Lewis. But Lewis turned out to be a great. I don't think Joshua will achieve everything that Lewis achieved. I don't think he's anywhere near as talented as Lewis. But he is a very, very good heavyweight, and deserves a lot of respect. I don't think his chin is that bad. Now, if Ngannou can land a big punch, like he did against Fury, the difference between Joshua and Fury is that Fury takes seconds to recover from being knocked down. Joshua can take rounds. So, yeah, okay, Francis has got the power. If he hits Joshua, he may hurt him, he may floor him. But how is he going to get into position if Joshua's staying disciplined? Because if Joshua's not doing what Fury did, which is getting greedy and just standing in front of him and exchanging, I don't see Joshua doing that at all. Ben Davison won't let him do that. So how do you think Ngannou's going to win? How do you think, tell me if you think he's going to knock Joshua out, or if his power's too much or his physical strength is too much. Tell me how you think he's going to implement that. Because I do feel, as much as I admire Ngannou, that people are getting a bit carried away now. So leave your comments below and I'll have a look at them and I'll answer as many as I can. And of course, as always, please, if you're new to this channel, subscribe if you can do that. It takes a second to hit that subscribe button. Please do it. And the like button as well. They count the likes, apparently. And yeah, looking forward to reading your comments. Thanks a lot. And I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.